Batman and Madara are what happens when two wounded children try to make sure suffering never happens again. Batman used pain to protect the future, Madara used pain to erase the past. One turned trauma into discipline, the other turned trauma into control. Which path are we on ourselves? Before Batman became a symbol, and before Madara became a godlike force trying to control reality, they were both wounded children trying to make sense of suffering. This is where both of them start. Both became obsessed with control because trauma taught them helplessness was dangerous. Batman watched his parents die in front of him. Madara grew up surrounded by war, loss, and endless clan violence. Different worlds, same emotional lesson. If I'm powerless, people suffer. That kind of experience can create hypervigilance, a constant alertness for danger, betrayal, conflict, or loss. Their nervous systems stop feeling safe. They begin scanning for what could go wrong next, and eventually, both Batman and Madara develop the same mission. This can never happen again. But what separates them is how they respond to that fear. Batman turns towards self-discipline. Madara turns towards external control. Batman tries to control himself. Madara tries to control reality. One attempts to master his own darkness. The other tries to redesign the world around his pain. That becomes the foundation of the entire clash. They are both trying to prevent suffering. Batman is what happens when pain becomes discipline. Bruce Wayne loses his parents as a child, and that moment teaches him terrifying lessons. The world is dangerous. Safety can disappear instantly. Evil can take what you love without warning, and helplessness becomes something he never wants to feel again. So, he creates Batman. Not only because he wants revenge, but because he wants to become the protection he never had. He trains, studies, prepares. He builds his body, mind, and will into a weapon against chaos. Deep down, Batman believes that when he loses control, people suffer. That belief becomes the engine behind his discipline. But Batman's real battle is not just against criminals. His real battle is against himself. He knows he is capable of rage, vengeance, hatred, obsession. The same darkness that consumes many of the villains he fights also exists inside of him. But instead of denying that darkness, he contains it. He gives it structure. He gives it a code. This is why the no-kill rule matters so much psychologically that he developed. It isn't just morality, it's self-awareness. Batman knows that if he crosses the line, he may not come back the same, because part of him does want revenge. Part of him wants criminals to feel the fear that he felt in that alley when his parents died. Part of him wants to punish the world for what happened to him. But every night, he chooses restraint over impulse. Every fight, he chooses discipline over rage. Every time he has the power to go too far, he has to decide who he's going to be. This is what separates Batman from becoming the same darkness he fights. His code is in the line between using pain and being possessed by it. Because Batman understands something terrifying. Suffering can either shape you or consume you. But Batman's discipline comes with a cost. He protects people from pain while never fully escaping his own. He wants peace, love, and connection, but he often feels safest through distance control and emotional restraint. Batman is not free from pain, he just refuses to let pain become permission to destroy. And underneath the symbol, underneath the armor, underneath the mission, is still a wounded child trying to never feel helpless again. Madara is what happens when pain becomes control. Unlike Batman, Madara does not simply try to master himself. He tries to master the world. Madara grows up during the Warring States period, a time where children were sent into battle, families were destroyed, and hatred kept passing from one generation to the next. He does not just experience suffering once, he watches it repeat again and again. Pain creates revenge. Revenge creates more pain. Hatred creates more hatred. And then even when peace seems possible, it eventually collapses. That cycle shaped Madara's worldview. He began to believe humanity cannot be trusted to create peace on its own. This is where he separates from Hashirama, his long-term rival. Hashirama believed imperfect people can still struggle toward peace together. Madara eventually stops believing people will ever truly change. That loss of faith becomes the foundation of his philosophy: control. Madara tries to control reality. Madara decided reality itself is the problem. This is why the infinite Tsukiyomi matters, his end goal mission. Madara does not simply want power, he wants to place the entire world inside of a dream. A world without war, without grief, without betrayal, and without the pain of reality. On the surface, that sounds peaceful, maybe even merciful. But the peace Madara offers is not real peace. It is a forced escape. No one chooses it. No one grows through it. No one faces their own reality. Everyone is placed inside of a beautiful illusion because Madara no longer believes real peace is possible. This is what makes him tragic. Madara still wants peace. He just no longer believes freedom can lead there. So his grief becomes ideology. His hopelessness becomes a plan. His dream sounds like healing, but underneath it is a wounded child trying to create a world where the past can never hurt him again. People do smaller versions of this every single day. We numb ourselves, escape into fantasy, avoid difficult conversations, avoid grief, and avoid vulnerability. We build lives around never having to face what hurt us. Madara takes that human impulse to its final extreme. His mindset becomes, if reality creates suffering, then reality itself must be escaped. That is the danger of Madara's philosophy. He correctly recognizes that humans repeat cycles of pain. But his solution removes freedom, truth, and growth. He does not heal humanity. He puts humanity to sleep. This is where the difference becomes clear. Like I said before, Batman's response to pain was discipline. Madara's response was control. From the outside looking in, they can look similar. Both are intense, strategic, powerful. Both are obsessed with preventing suffering. But internally, they are completely different. Discipline says, I will master myself so my pain does not destroy others. Control says, I will master everything around me so nothing can ever hurt me again. That is the real difference between Batman and Madara. Batman's pain becomes responsibility. Madara's pain becomes domination. Batman accepts that the past cannot be changed, so he builds toward the future. Madara cannot accept what the past did to him, so he tries to create a reality where that pain no longer exists. This is what makes Madara dangerous. Not because his desire for peace is wrong. His desire makes sense. Nobody wants endless war. Nobody wants children dying. Nobody wants suffering to repeat forever. But Madara's peace requires everyone's freedom to disappear. His dreams sound merciful until you realize nobody gets to choose it. And once peace requires control, it stops being healing and becomes the domination he seeks. Batman's philosophy is not perfect either. His discipline can become isolation. His restraint can become emotional distance. His mission can consume his life. But Batman still allows reality to exist. He still allows people to choose. He still fights for a future where people can live freely, even if that freedom includes pain, risk, and uncertainty. Madara tries to remove suffering by removing reality. Batman tries to reduce suffering without escaping reality. This is why this clash is deeper than hero versus villain. It is a question of how humans respond to pain. Do we discipline ourselves so our wounds do not control us? Or do we try to control everything around us so our wounds can never be touched again? What makes the comparison between Batman and Madara so interesting is that underneath all the power, they're both asking the same question. What do we become after suffering? And eventually, every human being has to answer that question, because pain changes people. The only question is how. Do we become more disciplined or more controlling? Do we build toward the future or spend our lives trying to escape the past? That is where Madara became uncomfortable to confront, because most of us understand him more than we want to admit. Control feels safer than trust. Escapism feels easier than grief. Detachment feels easier than vulnerability. Fantasy feels easier than accepting reality. Madara represents the part of us that wants to stop feeling pain by escaping the world that caused it. Batman is the part of us that tries to turn pain into responsibility. Neither one is perfect. Batman is still haunted, Madara is still wounded. But Batman keeps choosing restraint. He chooses a code. He chooses responsibility, and maybe that's the real lesson. Suffering may shape us, but it does not have to own us, because even after pain, we still have choices. Our discipline, character, and response. Maybe the real battle between Batman and Madara was never good versus evil. Maybe it was discipline versus control. Healing versus hopelessness. The future versus the past. Batman shows what happens when pain becomes responsibility. Madara shows what happens when pain becomes escape. And most of us are somewhere between both. So maybe the real question was never who was right. Maybe the real question is, which path are you on?